Okay. Um, you were always good about, like you mentioned, not going into the diss stuff. As far as Death Row's known kind of rivalries with Snoop and Dre and all that stuff. You were always good about not going that route. Can you tell me about the first time that you hear the Snoop Pimp Slap record, and what motivated you to do your response? It never got released, but to do a response back.
Well, my whole thing was, man, we from Long Beach, right? And I'm more of a peacemaker. Like when it was dudes in my city doing shows and any kind of disagreement would happen, I would be the one that's like, yo, hold up. Let's sit the two OGs down together from both sides. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, let's talk this out. You know what I mean? Before this shit get flipped over, cause it can get ugly. So I was always on some shit like that. That's my nature. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of that. That's something to be proud of to me, even in this era of all these fake tough guys and gang member rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like these rappers that I get it. They selling what they selling. They marketing what they market. It ain't no shots, but I take pride in the fact that I stopped a venue from getting shot up because people respect me and love me. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's just who I am. So when when Snoop he came at me on the mixtape, Welcome to the Church House, one of the mixtapes. They was like they made a little skit. So this dude had said, "Yo, you got that new crooked eye?" And they was like, "Crooked eye," and they just stomped him out. You know what I'm saying on the skit. For even bringing my name up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, that's one. All right, cool. But I'm still on the east side. It don't matter. I'm bending corners. It's like, in real life, I'm still out here. You know what I'm saying? But then another, you know, the pimp slap came and he was like, them is crumbs off my table. And, niggas around the city was like, oh, you heard dog? He trying to serve you, you know what I'm saying? And all that type of shit. And what I mean? I was like, all right, man, let me put my MC hat on because at the end of the day, MCing is a gladiator sport too. You know, I just know that it goes further than just the wax when you dealing with California, especially everywhere now. But back then, California had a real reputation for taking it off wax too. You know what I'm saying? So I like let me put my MC hat on, and I came out. How the fuck can a dope rap start with for shizzle? And then I just took it off from there. You know what I'm saying? And it's out. People done heard it and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, I was just defending my reputation as a MC and as a man. I was just defending myself as a man because I didn't send the first shot. And I told Suge that I wouldn't send the first shot. You know what I mean? Now, how many people on Death Row Records would tell Suge Knight that, nah, man, I'm not gonna send the first shot at them. You know what I'm saying? Not many. You feel me? So I felt like I stood on my business. You know what I mean? And I represented the city. Like, nah, I'm not gonna go against my city. You know what I mean? Even though I'm over here on Death Row, I'm gonna make classic music as I can, the most classic music that I can, and I'm gonna create the dopest art that I can, and I'm gonna scream y'all praises for putting me in a position to have a career. But I'm not gonna go against my own city right now. I don't feel like that's gonna be a good look. You know what I mean? And I sat on this man couch playing Super Nintendo with him. You know, as a teenager. You feel me? I was at Snoop House when the cars were getting towed away. When he left the label, I was sitting on his couch watching them get put up on All Star flatbeds. You feel me? So I got a lot of history with Snoop. So I was like, I'm not going against Snoop. I'm not going against my city. I'm just not doing that. And then, just like Suge said, he's like, oh yeah, you will. Because they're going to keep throwing shots at you because you with me. And then you're going to have to respond. And then I had to respond. And he was right about that. You know what I'm saying? I had to respond because, we ain't going to just sit around and be suckers either. That's what's not going to happen. So it was like, yo, I had to do it. I did it, you know what I'm saying? And I think it came out dope. And I feel like if Snoop bought, you know, all of that music over there, I don't know what he has. He might have access to that song right now.
Hmm. Okay.
And then during your time at Death Row, you were able to work on a Tupac project as far as your production company, 777, did a couple songs on the Tupac Until the End of Time album. Can you tell me about that experience?
Yeah, man. So, you know, we got the call and it was a privilege and an honor, of course. It's Pac. And we went somewhere and they had a bunch of masters tape though. You know what I mean? 2-inch tape. My producers and rappers from the '90s know what I'm talking about. And they was playing different acapellas of songs that were potential candidates for a remix. So we picked out Happy Home and we picked out Why You Turn on Me or something like that, and went in the studio. And I don't really play. I mean, I used to have this around this time. I had an MP, I had a Kurzweil, I had a bunch of production equipment, but I always step aside when somebody is better than me. You know what I mean? I don't try to get the credit just because I could put this beat together and I could have all the credit on this. I'm a team player. My god brother Jim Giddum is like, you know, Prince on the keys or Liberace. He just knows his way around all keyboards. You know what I'm saying? So have him in there. Darren Vegas, he's a great drum programmer. You know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. He's a good producer too. But we just play to our strengths. But I always knew the vibe that songs needed. I always knew the vibe because you cut me and I bleed hip hop. I started off as a fucking kid at a talent show rapping Rapper's Delight and winning a talent show when I was 5 years old. I started in the studio at 8 years old, my first time ever recording. So I'm super and tapped in to hip hop from the history of it all the way to now. So I know the vibe and I'm a big Pac fan. So I know the vibe it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes a producer will go in there and do a song and they didn't do the right vibe for the lyrics, and I don't like that. And I think that's the reason why a lot of the fans of artists who are deceased are upset when labels put albums out on them because that's not the vibe that they would have been on if they were still here. Now I know you have to update it and adjust to the times and things of that nature, but you can still capture the same energy if you know what the fuck you're doing. So I was very good at that, at capturing the energy and the vibe and telling them, nah, wait a minute, don't you overplaying right here, my brother. Don't go crazy right here. We need to let his voice breathe on this particular part because listen to the pattern that he's using right now. He's in a different pocket right here, so we need to make sure that there ain't too much instrumentation going on, drowning him out while he's trying to say what he's trying to say right here. Or we need to do a melody like this or like that. So long story short, we went in there, and I think it was an armed guard, man, guarding these treasures. You know what I'm saying? If you in the same room with a library of Tupac acapellas, you are in the Smithsonian. You are in Fort Knox, where they have all the gold. That's where you at. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if a lot of people understood that, but I understood the assignment. That's why Happy Home could have been a radio hit. If you go listen to that shit on To the End of Time, that shit that we produced, I wrote the chorus. There's a bridge part in there. I wrote that too. You know what I'm saying? I was shooting for the stars, just like how Pac would have. You know what I'm saying? In my mind. You feel me? And yeah, man, it was a great experience. And you know what flipped me the fuck out? And I didn't even realize it. I probably knew it back then, but you know, I went on a whole. I did a lot of shit since Death Row. So, you know what I'm saying? Some things be slipping my mind, but I was in my office the other day and um, I looked inside the motherfucking Until the End of Time hard copy CD cover, the artwork. And when you open that bitch up, Say Hi to the Bad Guys right in that motherfucker. Coming soon, right inside the fucking artwork. I was like, damn. You know, I'm still cool enough to be a fan of all this shit. I feel like everybody else put on a fucking front like they too. I don't even know if it's just arrogance or no humility or you know what I'm saying, but they not a fan no more. It's just like everything. Yeah, I was in the cover, you know what I mean, of Tupac. Nah, fuck that. I was in the cover of Tupac shit. You know what I'm saying? One of the goats of this shit. And I already know I'm one of the goats when it comes to bar for bar. I know that. I'm comfortable in my skin with that. So I ain't tripping. I can give flowers to everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the motherfucking goats on Mount Olympus. And I was sitting in that motherfucker immortalized. To anybody who got that fucking hard copy CD, they see Say Hi to the Bad Guy in there. Even though the album didn't come out, it still came out.